Hi ladies and gentlemen, happy January 21st, 2013. Happy Martin Luther King Day. You know what? I just want to welcome you here. With me is Marcello Bartolotta, inventor. How are you, Marcello?
Doing all right. How you doing?
We're talking a little bit about his new invention, or not really new, his invention that he has created, and also new, I guess, because he has some new stuff that's come aboard. He's already shown up on the Mount Vernon Centennial on July 18th, 2011. And actually they wrote up a write-up on him, Local Man Touts Homemade Alternative Fuel Device. So we're going to talk a little bit with Marcello about what is this alternative fuel device that he's actually doing and how it actually works and what are the benefits of it for not just himself, but why he's really pushing it to the public and why he feels it's going to be something good for not just the people, for the future, and also for our environment. So let's talk a little bit with Marcello. So Marcello, I know that this is the first one that you came out with. This is a generator. Yes. So tell me about this generator. I mean, what kind of engine is this?
That right there is a little 2.5 horsepower generator, 2,000 watts, you know, max power on there. I mean, it's just a little Chinese generator. And
who makes this generator?
The generator is made by a Chinese company that it's a Honda basically knockout. That's what it is. There's really nothing special about the generator really.
Okay.
It's really how the system that delivers the fuel to the generator that is really, you know.
So it doesn't have to be a specific generator? Is that
No,
what you're trying
no,
to
it
say?
doesn't.
Okay, I thought maybe a specific generator.
No, you can use anything with an engine. You can put my system in it. So really, it doesn't have to be a specific motor. You know, long as it's a motor, you can run the system. All it is really just a new carburation where it turns your fuel into a hot vapor, and then it goes into the engine after it's turned into a hot vapor, and then it makes combustion, and it's the vapor, so it burns all the way through, unless, you know, the liquid, when it goes into a motor, it doesn't, because it has to be vaporized before it burns.
Okay.
So if it's not vaporized, gasoline will not burn. You know, it has to be turned into a vapor.
So I know that you're going to break this down and kind of explain it to us. I thought it had to be a specific generator, but I guess, like you're saying, it doesn't have to be. And I know that you also came out with something most recent too, which is this is
yeah, I made that.
This is a GoKart, huh? Homemade, right?
Yeah, I made it. Just you know, just something to show, you know, car shows and stuff, and then, you know, some for people to understand the technology. I mean, you know,
so it's just a regular motor?
Just a regular 3.5 horsepower motor with my system on it. Okay. And it's really just the principle to show that little GoKart, it does run more than just on gasoline and
what have you run on it so far?
You can use motor oil, you can run transmission fluid through that right there, ran it on. Actually, I got a video there that shows that I ran on diesel. And I even put a canister to show the visible off the diesel being vaporized before being burnt. And I have a video of that, which later on, you know, maybe, you know, you can see the video. Okay. And then, you know, that motor right there basically will run on any type of oils or any type of flammable fuel. And the reason is because now you're in control, and, you know, you can adjust that carburetor to run just about anything.
Okay, great.
You know, and how that works is that it's turning everything to a vapor, and not only it's turning everything to a vapor, but now you can control the air in a vapor fuel mixture to give you a maximum burn, so that means no emissions. It burns it all the way through.
So is that same technology is in here, you're saying?
Yes, it's the technology is the same. You know, it might look different, it might be bigger or smaller, but it all does the same thing. It all does the same principle.
Okay, and now you have another. You have something else that's over here. This is a.
This right here is just to show how it works. You know, the principle. That's all this shows. The principle, how it works, and how it's making a vapor.
Okay, and what do you use this one for?
This is a 12-volt generator that I made to charge batteries.
So you use this to charge a battery?
That's right. So we can have something with a little bitty motor. This little engine right here with a gallon of gas that'll run about 15 to 16 hours. They're just running gasoline. We're not talking about running, you know, diesel or use motor oil, because then if you use that too, now you're going to probably even almost double that, because you're using waste as a fuel too.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So this right here is really for backup power for people that like have solar energy, and then I have wind energy. You know, if something happens to their, you know, stuff and it's down,
Okay.
they can use this as an emergency, which this right here will give you 90 amps alternator, which it gives you 90 amp at all times to keep your batteries nice and charged and fresh.
Really?
Yes, and then the good thing about this is that you don't have to run this all the time. You start it up, charge your batteries, turn the motor back off, use your energy off the batteries, and then turn this on. So what I'm working on with this right here is kind of make like a compressor kind of deal. The motor only kicks on only when the batteries need energy, and then it shuts off, just like a refrigerator.
So this is not complete.
No, it's not. This is a technology that I'm working on, and you
So
know, I
this is new
figure I'll
technology.
show it. You know, just to really, this right here shows more of a better principle.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, everything is more exposed, more rough than that right there, which is already for the market.
Great.
You see,
Excellent.
that's ready to
So-
go, and this right here is basically something just to give you an idea how the system works.
Okay. Well, I'm not a big gearhead. I'm not a mechanic. You definitely wouldn't want me working on your cars or anything like that. But you know what? Sounds pretty interesting, especially with how fuel costs has been.
Well,
And,
see,
people,
that's
are always
why-
asking about it, and people are looking for alternative fuel. I know that cars have been coming out with, you know, and with this hybrid and battery operate, and just so many things are coming out now, as far as within other ways of generating, your motor or your engine, making it work better. Okay, so. Can you explain this a little bit more? I mean, what do we need to do so you can explain it a little bit more? I mean, what do we need to do? We need to, I mean, can you point some stuff out? I mean, would we know or not really? Or what do we need to do? We gotta pick this up or something?
Do you need to know basically how the system basically operates and how it works, or?
Yeah, show us how it
All
works.
right,
Show us how
yeah.
this thing all works. So let's turn this.
Well, it's
we need
pretty
to turn it
easy.
around?
I mean, it's pretty self-explainable here. Okay, Jerry, I guess we can maybe get this go-kart, push it forward.
Okay, let's.
So while you're here, I'll show you how it works, so that way, you'll know exactly how everything happens.
Okay,
and,
let's push this go-kart a little bit forward, and you can break it down for me.
All right, got it? Here, we'll just go ahead and throw it to the side.
That'll work.
Here, we'll just go ahead and put this one here like
Okay,
this.
good enough.
Yeah, just throw it to the side,
Okay.
and we'll get it. All right, there we go.
All right, so tell me about this.
Okay, this right here is the same original carburetor. They came with this generator.
Okay.
I mean, this right here, it's the same, there's nothing really changed here other than this piece right here, that I put on there, because see, I don't have a filter in there, which I don't need one. I can put a filter on it, but since, this is for show, I don't need to put a filter on it really, because I didn't feel like I needed it. Now, this is your control where you can control your speed,
Okay.
right, where you can rev it up or, make a height on everything. Now, this right here is not what's important. This is what's important because why? And I'll tell you why this is important. Right here, there's a valve. See this valve right here?
Yeah. Can you guys see this? Okay.
This valve right here?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever I got this motor basically going to the RPMs I want, I can open this valve right here, right?
Okay.
Until the motor's starting to slow down.
Okay.
Once the motor's starting to slow down, okay, now remember, this is still burning vapor, not liquid fuel anymore. I close this valve just a little bit to bring up the RPMs to where I want them. This motor right here will be 100% efficient after that.
Okay.
Because it will burn the fuel all the way through, because now I just adjusted my carburetor 100%, which I adjusted the vacuum.
Okay.
So what happens when you take vacuum off an engine, every mechanic knows that if you have a vacuum leak, it's not going to draw fuel in.
Okay.
So, I control basically the vacuum. See, the motor works like a pump.
Okay.
The more fuel, the more it sucks it in there. It's just like a compressor pump.
So is it sucking in fuel then?
Yeah, because it draws the fuel in itself.
Okay.
It's just like a pump.
All right. So,
So what I'm doing is I'm slowing down, the suction. That's all I'm doing by opening up this valve.
All
I'm
right.
taking vacuum off the engine, so the less vacuum, the less fuel draw.
Okay.
Now you want to ask me, well, you can do that without heating up the fuel. No, you can't, because if you do that, your engine will melt down, because it'll go into a lean condition.
Okay.
Now with this right here, since the fuel is being heated and turned into a vapor, and then this right here leans it out. This is your lean valve, and your vacuum where it cuts the vacuum off the engine. There's no more lean condition because it kills the oxygen in the air.
Really?
So now you can run this thing as lean as you want.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So you get you know, you burn all the fuel and you do not leave any, you know, like any fuel behind, because now it's turned into a vapor, and when it goes into the engine, you have more of a, you know, even combustion.
So are you burning fuel or are you burning vapor?
Vapor.
You're burning the vapor.
That's right.
So do you burn more fuel then? Or you burn less fuel, or how?
Well, what happens is the fuel is being turned into a vapor.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you turn that fuel into the vapor, automatically your fuel molecules will swell up.
Okay.
You know, kind of like heat and cold.
Okay.
You know, heat makes things expand, cold makes it shrink. We know that.
Okay.
Now, what it does is it tricks the engine and it's getting more fuel than what it needs to.
All right.
Okay, so already the motor thinks, hey, you know what? I don't need all this fuel, I can slow down.
Okay.
Okay, and now this valve right here, what it does is it leans it out.
Right.
It makes it go into a lean condition, and it slows down the vacuum off the engine.
Okay.
Okay, now the vapor is hot vapor. So what happens is that hot vapor going into the engine, when it makes that explosion, it's a more of an even combustion.
Right.
But the reason I have no lean condition is because I'm heating up the vapor, the fuel's being heated and turned into a vapor before going into the engine.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So you have a cleaner burn, you have where the oil lasts longer, the engine runs cooler, you see?
So how much more efficient is it actually now that it's burning that in that sense what you're talking about? Are you getting
On,
more?
on gasoline, okay, this right here, it's this motor right here on gasoline, it's almost 2 times more efficient.
Okay.
So I get double the time on this motor with my system just running gasoline.
Okay. Now
Now, if I put 30% diesel in there, 20% diesel on this gas tank,
Mixed
filled
with-
up,
mixed with gasoline?
gasoline.
I thought you can't mix the diesel and gasoline together.
Oh, yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah. You if you run a vapor carburetor, yes, you can run whatever you want. You can mix 30% diesel, or I can put 30% transmission fluid. Yeah, you can, because I mean I do it all the time, and then I triple my time.
Really?
Sometimes 4 times even more, because I'm turning that little bit of diesel.
Okay.
Okay, believe it or not, that little bit of diesel, that 30% is equal almost to another gas tank of gasoline.
Really? People be saving a lot of money.
Holds a lot of, that's right, yes. And not only that, now we can use stuff that it goes to waste, we
Okay.
can use it as energy, and we get more out of the fuel that we have right now, so it would benefit us, because now we won't have to worry about all this fuel crisis.
What do you mean by waste? Waste of what kind of fuel? Waste of what? Like because I
Well,
know
like
you
waste oil, you know, waste oil could be vegetable oil, it could be, you know, frying oil,
So
it
you-
could be
because I know you're saying you could put dirty motor oil in here. Like I
You
just
can
change
put-
my oil in my
that's
car
right,
and I
yeah.
can give it to you and we'll run this.
That's right, you can throw it in there, this thing will fire up and run just like a charm.
I just finished cooking some bacon in the house. We could stick it inside here and it's
That's
gonna run
right,
it.
it will run, and the reason is
Really?
because that bacon oil gets heated up to about 600-700 degrees.
Okay.
Because it's going to the exhaust. The exhaust is what is wasted energy, see?
Okay.
So I'm using wasted energy to make energy. So what happens is that oil is being vaporized, and that oil cannot escape this unless it's turned into a vapor. It will not climb up unless it's turned into a vapor. So if that oil does not evaporize, it's stuck in this tank. That oil's got all the time in the world to evaporize.
But could it possibly?
No, because what happens is, since it's a closed chamber, and if it gets hot, it'll evaporize. So no matter what, if it's hot, it's going to vaporize that oil anyway. So nothing can happen because the tank is always going to be empty.
How about
anyway.
safety concerns about this? Anything?
That thing right there is safer than having really a regular carburetor stuck to your intake, because if you notice that, Jerry, this kind of acts like a spark arrestor. You see what I'm saying? Like fuel goes into here, but it can't go back into here.
Okay.
You see,
it
this
can only
is
go
built-
one direction.
That's right, and that's how I made it that safe. That's how safe it is. This thing is 100% safe because of that, because right in here, there's a screen inside of here, see?
Okay.
This is more like built kind of like a color converter.
Okay. Now, what
So-
about the wear and tear on the engine? Is it going to wear the engine more?
No, the motor lasts longer, run cooler, less oil changes. You never have to change your oil. No blow-by on the engine, like it ain't gonna never have to worry about burning the rings out where the oil comes up on the piston and starting to burn oil.
Okay.
It just overall benefits the motor. Less stress on the engine,
Really?
runs cooler, less oil changes, never have to replace the plug because the plug is always gonna be clean, burn, you know, nice and clean. The benefit is that you can run other fuels other than just gasoline, and the reason is because this valve will give you that opportunity, because you can adjust it.
Less maintenance and everything on this, huh?
Everything. I mean, you know, the idea, it's really a great idea for engines, and I know in the past they did have something close to what I have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't as sophisticated maybe than what I have. I don't know, because usually the gas company, they want to get rid of the technology. They don't want that out, you know. And the reason is they don't want that out, I think, is because now you can run diesel and stuff with it. You know, you can mix your fuel with the diesel and get a lot more mileage out of it. I don't think it has anything to do with the vapor from the gasoline. I think it has to do, you can run now waste,
Right.
and that gives you that ability. And
Right,
that
because
is
people
why
don't
they-
even know where to put their cooking oil anymore,
That's
right?
right, yes.
Or the
And
dirty
then-
motor oil, stuff
Yes.
like that. So, but here's another thing I'm in question about. Now, it runs, it burns through. What about, because I know recently they talked about how generators, lawnmowers, equipment like that, not automobiles so much, that they put out so much pollution.
They do.
And more than vehicles, is that right?
Yes, because they're not regulated. Carburetors are not regulated.
Okay.
Matter of fact, they.
So how much pollution is this still gonna, put out the same kind of pollution then? Or more? Because of it?
This right here, what it does is it bypasses this.
Okay.
Even though I'm using this, all this becomes now is a fuel delivery. It's no longer a carburetor. It just delivers the fuel into the evaporizer. That's all it does.
So you're saying you don't even need a carburetor?
No, I do not. I can run it just with a jug, like I'm showing right here. I do not need the carburetor. But the thing is, if I run this jug right here,
Right.
well, I mean, do you think it's gonna be safe to have?
Well, no, I understand.
That's why,
So
it's not gonna be-
realistically, because it's good to have the carburetor.
It is good, because the reason it is good is because the carburetor, they're built with machinery, they're built, and I don't have that ability. I don't have a machine shop. If I did, I would really build a nice carburetor.
Okay.
Actually, eventually, I want to have this fuel injected.
Okay, so right now you can't put this on a fuel injected engine.
Yes, you can. You can put this in any type of motor you want. This is just your fuel delivery.
Okay.
At the end, the vaporizer is going to vaporize that fuel no matter where it goes.
Now, let's get back to pollution though, because that's one of the big environmentally conscious, people are about pollution, okay? So what kind of, does this still give out the same pollution as it would if you didn't have your...
No
Your,
matter what,
lights
a
on here.
vapor carburetor, and a lot of people that they were involved in this technology, they know this about the vapor carburetors. When the fuel is turned into a vapor and it goes into the engine, it burns all the way through. So that means you have less emission no matter what, because the fuel is being vaporized before chamber, and it doesn't use the valve, it doesn't use the engine heat to be able to do it, because it's using the exhaust wasted heat.
Have you ever tested it?
Oh yeah.
And how did it test out? Just out of curiosity.
It barely reads. The pollution tester barely reads.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't really hardly show any, I mean, they might be just a little bit, but not enough. You can run this motor right here and here right now, and they won't even hurt you.
So primarily, if we ran it without this compared to running
Oh, yeah,
with
it
your
definitely,
device,
it would run
which one would run with more pollutants, with it or without it?
Without my system, it will be 10 times, more polluting, and the reason is because I can regulate the air and fuel mixture now, which you can't do that. Whenever you get something, you're not in control. They're in control. They put that carburetor in there. You're stuck with that carburetor, and that carburetor does that for you. And that carburetor might be efficient. That carburetor might be, you know what I'm saying? It might be not very efficient.
Okay.
Now with this system, I can put any carburetor I want on here.
Okay.
At the end, look who's in control, Jerry. I'm in
See.
control. This is my air and fuel ratio. See right here, I can slow down my vacuum,
Okay.
and at the same time, I give it more air. The more air, the more the engine
Right.
breathes, the better that fuel burns.
Now, a lot of people have, I don't want to say a lot of people, but there are a lot of people that do have generators, big
Yes,
and small. They also have lawnmowers, because, you're talking about you could put this on any kind of machine.
Oh yeah, I got it on my riding lawnmower that I've been using for.
So you have it on a riding lawnmower also?
Yes.
Okay.
And I use, like, all the stuff is stuff that I use.
So
You
are
know?
you telling me is it a specific person has to be able to put this on, like you gotta get a certain guy, or what is it? So anybody can put this
Anybody
on?
with a little bit of mechanic skill can do this. All this is really plumbing.
Really?
I mean, there's nothing really magic about it. I mean, it's just all plumbing. You know what I'm saying?
So-
And
so
you
I
can
know
buy
that you
your
said
plumbing,
Your you're gonna have this, so people can actually do it themselves. You're gonna have some kind of.
Yes,
to
if
do
they
that,
want
or-
to build them themselves, I guess, yes, they can build them because they're not really hard to build. It's really understanding the
I'm sure
idea.
landscapers will love you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You're gonna be saving them a lot of money.
well, not only that, I'm really more after saving the future generation because that's the way we're going. Somebody's got to do something about it, and if
That's
we
right.
don't clean up the air, what we're going to be left with?
Exactly.
You know?
Well, you know what? I know that you said you're gonna show us how this thing runs, right?
Yes,
In a little
yes.
bit. But let's move on to the next one because I wanna get out of that. Let's see what this one's all about
Okay,
here.
the go-kart.
This is pretty interesting here, this go-kart thing.
Yeah, the little
Okay.
go-kart that I built.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about this go-kart real quick.
All right, there we go.
Let's pull this out.
Now, same thing is with this right here too,
Okay.
with this go-kart right here. All right, now this right here, it's a carburetor.
Okay, just like that.
Just like that, no different. And actually, this is not even a carburetor for this thing. I
Okay.
just basically took a carburetor and threw it on there because now all that is just a fuel delivery.
Okay.
That's all it does. It doesn't really carburate anything. It just kind of delivers the fuel into the evaporizer, okay?
All right.
Now what happens is I start the thing up and I let it warm up a little bit. Once it warms up a little bit, I can turn this valve on, see?
Okay.
Because,
That's what we have there.
because once you
Okay.
heat the motor up, there's no more lean condition. The motor will not lean out and burn itself up once it warms up. You see what I'm saying? That's why
I
we've
see.
been having issues with trying to get better fuel mileage.
All right.
Because they don't have heated vapor going into the engine. What they have is liquid gasoline. So if you lean that liquid gasoline out, it gets too much oxygen
Okay.
and you're gonna go more is gonna be motor failure. You're gonna burn your engine up.
Okay.
With this, since it's being heated, you can lean it as much as you want. So once this gets warm or heated up, there's your control valve to lean it. This is like a lean valve and it kills the vacuum off the engine. So now I can regulate my vapor because it's not no longer liquid anymore. Once it goes through here,
Mhm.
turns into vapor. The vapor travels all around the spot where it's being cooled.
Okay.
All that is just rubber.
Okay.
And then it goes right in here, and once it goes right in there, you know what I'm saying? That's whenever, it gets sucked into the engine, the valve closes and makes a combustion. It makes the pop, and then the piston gets drawn all the way down, and it comes back, and it,
And you
keeps
said you
doing
just
that.
recently ran this. You have it on a video.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you running in here? What
Diesel,
kind of, you were
diesel,
running diesel. And this is a gas-powered engine.
That's right. It's a 3.5 horsepower. I think it's a Tecumseh motor.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.5 horsepower. It's
But like you said, it doesn't matter what the motor is, right?
It doesn't
Any kind of
matter
motor.
if it's
Okay.
a motor. This system will work on it. You can put that on any motors. It don't matter if it's a 1-cylinder motor, 2-cylinder motor.
Okay.
Basically, all this is basically something that bypasses the carburetor, where you're in control now.
I think I need you to build me one of these bad boys.
Oh, it's
Now,
fun. It's a lot of fun.
It sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. So when you took this out,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty interesting looking. You got a nice soft seat here. It looks like a office seat that definitely this
Yeah,
is
I
custom,
I
right?
had to build it with whatever I had available. So
I get it.
it's kind of like trying to be MacGyver. You just basically you try to do something with what you have available, and
Okay.
and a lot of time you can get creative.
So what kind of? So how fast does this thing even go?
It'll run 40 miles an hour, believe it or not. It goes.
This 40 miles an hour?
It will do about 40 miles an hour top speed. It's very lightweight.
Okay.
And it does have a pretty good sized motor for the size of the go-kart. I mean, this thing is tiny. I mean,
Nice.
it's light, and
And I think you're gonna show us this again, right?
yeah,
How
I mean,
it
I
runs?
can start it and show it how it runs and everything.
Okay.
I mean, this thing will sit there and idle and everything. So, the technology is ready. Just really getting it more sophisticated to be able to use in cars and anything that's got like bolts. We can use it really for anything.
Well, I mean, if we had this technology in cars, what would be the benefit of this being in a car? I mean, I know alternative fuel. The alternative
would
fuel,
be,
right? But
It'd be good by far because we won't have to worry about, like pollution anymore.
Okay.
And not only that, we don't have to worry about, us throwing waste into a landmine because that waste is gonna become gold for us. And it would push us into using, you see, an energy that we think that is not worth nothing, and we just throw it away all the time. It's
Well-
kind of like this, people go out there and they throw oil in their yard, a gallon of oil in their yard.
Right.
To them, it ain't worth nothing.
Right.
They already used it, put it in the car, you know, Jerry, like, you know what, we don't need it, go dump it out, who cares, you know, it ain't no good for nothing.
Right.
To them, yes. To me, they would heat up my house for 2 days.
A gallon of oil would heat your house for 2
Yes,
days?
use motor oil, because I have an evaporizer, the same thing can be used to even for a home heater. It's a
Really?
gasifier, just like this.
So you heat your house with
Waste,
with
yes.
dirty motor oil.
Dirty motor oil,
This is incredible.
you know-
I think it keeps getting better and better every time now.
So really, you know, where the technology is here is to turn everything to a hot vapor, and if we can do that, we can use that as a fuel source. So
Okay.
once it's turned to a hot vapor, it can be E85, and it can be diesel fuel, it can be old, you know, frying oil, it could be anything
Now,
really.
if you're
as long
telling me
as it's
this could be
vaporized.
put into a car, do we still need fuel injection or just a carburetor?
No, they can put a fuel injection in it, because the thing is, once they have the system on there,
Right.
they can lean that fuel injection system out. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? So
And what kind of gas mileage are we looking at?
I've never done a fuel injection one. With this, I know what this motor does. This motor right here does 3 times more right now. This motor right here, because it's an older engine.
Uh-huh.
And believe it or not, the older motors give better gas mileage with this on there, because the carburetors,
Then a newer engine.
that's right, because the older motors were less efficient. So if you have an old motor, you know, let's say that motor's 30 years old and you want to use it.
Old
but you
carburetor.
that's right, but you know, a newer one is more efficient.
Okay,
Once you put this on there, the system right here,
right.
that thing will become just more efficient than a new motor.
That's incredible.
If not, it'll do better than a new engine.
So we're gonna let people see this one. Now let's go to this new
This right here.
what is this, like new invention or new technology or
Yeah,
you're
it's
also
something
for-
that I'm working on. It's a pull coat
Okay.
generator,
All right, let's bring this out.
you know, and this is something else that I'm working on.
Okay.
And basically, all that is just an alternator. I mean, this is really for somebody that wants emergency power, you know?
Well, people have these huge generators that they pay thousands of dollars for on the side of their house.
That's right, and then what happens is
Right.
if that generator quits, okay, you're basically out of the game. Then you gotta go get another one or get that one fixed, so you have no power.
Because they run their generator off of gas, like natural gas.
That's
Goes into it, right?
Yeah, but it's not really the point. The point is, this could go out at any time.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying? So, the way I have it set up is there's a building between it. So,
Okay.
let's say this would go out.
Right.
You can replace this in 5 minutes and put a new one on it. And
Okay.
you're back up and going again. You
Okay.
see what- let's say the motor goes out.
Okay.
You can unbolt the motor, take the motor out, stick another motor in it, just like the way it is with a pool and everything,
And you're done.
and you're done. You fire it up, you got the motor back, this is right here is something that anybody can do, you know what I'm saying, with a little bit of skill, where they can replace the alternator where they don't have to keep buying new generators.
But this is new technology that you're setting up for so you can charge batteries.
That's right, this is my new technology. What I wanna do is I wanna set a motor up kinda like of a compressor. You know how the air goes down, the compressor kicks on?
Yes.
And it boosts the air back up?
Yes.
This right here is gonna charge batteries for a house.
Okay.
And this right here could be used as a generator backup for your solar panel,
Okay.
if something happens to your solar panels, or it could be used for backup power for a wind generator. But the good thing about this thing right here
This
is,
little thing?
this little thing will run a house, believe it or not.
How big of a
This
house?
little thing will run more stuff than Ned ever thinks about running, because this right here you can charge 10 batteries with.
Really?
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now with that, whatever comes out, you're stuck with.
Okay.
That's it, you see? Now with this right here is basically kind of like your solar, and this puts out a lot more than a solar system. 90 amps is like way more than a solar. Solar power gives you, a lot of times they give you like, they don't give you amps, they go about wattage.
Okay.
Now we're talking about amps.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, you know,
That's a lot.
that's a lot, yeah. And,
Okay.
yeah, and not only that, you know, this is, you know, once you start this motor up, you have power and demand. This is all the time if you want to.
Okay. But right now, this is still new technology.
This is
You're
new
finishing
technology,
putting together.
yeah, I'm still working on it. I mean, I already used this on my house, right in my house with it already. I mean, I have batteries and inverters that I use on my house to run,
Okay.
you know, my TVs and stuff, computers and, you know,
Now,
so.
Now, I guess the big question would be is, with all this technology that you have, okay, or this new devices and stuff like, and this technology that you've created and put together that all of them are on, do you even have a patent on it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I
Okay,
got a patent.
okay, so you got a patent on it. So
Yes.
if we wanted to find out about this patent, where would we go?
You probably have to go to the Google and then put my name in there. Marcello Bartolotta, free patent.
Okay, Marcello
Application.
Bartolotta, free patent application.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Marcello Bartolotta, free patent application.
Application. Yes, and
Okay.
that will show how the system and the application will explain to the dime how my system works.
Really?
To the dime. You know, like that right there, Jerry, that's what I forgot to tell you too. Before I had the system on it, the carburetor, okay, would adjust itself, right? Like it had like a rub limiter where the carburetor would open up so much, you know what I'm saying, for the motor to be able to push, you know, power out, right, for the generator. Now you can have this carburetor out of idle, okay? And by just, you know, adjusting this lever right here, and it just proves itself, because this motor will run out of idle and still push about 500 watts without a problem.
I know that.
Out of idle. I was amazed by it, because, you know what I'm saying, like, that is the stock carburetor, just to show how inefficient the carburetors are.
Now I know that you had shown this to me and told me that it could run on anything, and I actually told you, I said, well, prove it to me, and I
Yeah.
brought you my turkey frying oil from November's Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
which is, you know, a few months ago, and I gave it to you, and you actually ran it in here and smelled like turkey fry, like we were frying turkey in it, and it smelled good, and you even showed me how, you know,
Yeah, because
we took a lighter to it,
vapor
and we
does
saw the
burn
vapor.
like
Yeah.
a lot better
That was
than just
interesting.
liquid fuel. And like I said, since the vapor burns, you know, better than liquid fuel,
Mhm.
you know, you even have more power on your engine. Your motor becomes more powerful because you got more of a cleaner burn,
Okay.
and it doesn't choke itself. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So you have more of a cleaner burn, and the motor becomes more powerful by running vapor than running, you know, liquid gasoline. And then the thing is, you know, most carburetors are like, they put them right up to the intake.
Okay.
They don't even give enough time for the fuel to evaporize.
Okay.
So that motor just sucks whatever fuel it wants, and that's what makes carburetors inefficient.
Okay.
Now with this system, we can make any carburetor out there in the market more efficient than fuel injection. Like a fuel injection cannot even compete with this.
Okay.
You know, because you're in control here, and you can adjust this perfect, you know, with fuel injection, whatever they give you, you got it. You know what I'm saying? You're not in control anymore.
Interesting. Interesting.
So that's why the cars today still get 25, 30 miles per gallon, and the cars back 50 years ago got the same. And they weigh like 3 to 5 times more. They had a bigger motor, you know, more room in it.
Now I know that you have some of this video that's on YouTube, so they can see
Yes.
this. So definitely you can Google on YouTube Marcello Bartolotta,
Yes.
right? What, inventor or
You
technology?
just go to Marcello Bartolotta, and they'll show you all my videos on YouTube.
Excellent, excellent. So if
And,
other people want to see other technologies on this,
Yeah,
and they
like,
can get in contact-
everything I do, like sometime, you know, I play around with the technology, and I took some videos, and some of those videos I do put it on the computer. You know, I haven't put any videos in there anymore. You know, I kind of like, you know, been keeping it to myself.
I guess
right now.
this is the right time to let people know, right? People are looking to say,
Well, I mean,
okay.
that's the thing, you know, I got where I might give up on the technology, you know, it's like, you know what, I know that we need it, I know that we gotta have it, but then again, it's kinda like, you know, you need that push, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, I'm just glad that you're here today to, you know.
Well, I know we're gonna run
harness
this. We're gonna let people.
technology.
We're gonna let people see this. It's like cold outside, but I know that, you know, people probably want to. Well, they want to see it run and work. But just as well, you know, before we, you know, we'll let them see how it runs and work. But Marcello, thank you for your time. Thank you for the information.
Thank you for
It's definitely valuable, not just for me, but I'm sure for a lot of people. It's a big savings for people to take advantage of this technology that you have, to put it on what they have, to be able to use, like you said, that alternative fuel, and the fact that, like you were saying, it is good for the environment just as
Yes,
well.
I mean, this is what
So, I
this
mean,
is what it is all about.
I guess, ladies and gentlemen, if it makes sense and it looks good, I mean, it's a technology that we really need for the future, and we should take advantage of it. And, you know, I mean, Marcello, thank you for sharing all this with us, and thank you for,
Well,
I
I
guess,
mean, you know,
really
I
putting
just
this out
want
there.
people to know that we do have some better out there than what they give us. We can, you know, there's a better way to burn fuel other than what you're taught to burn fuel.
Well, excellent, excellent.
You know, and I'm hoping to be the future technology, you know, and I just keep working on it. You know, I just trying to get it better and better and better, and then you know, it's there for people to use if they want it.
Well,
You know?
there you have Marcello Bartolotta, a man with a heart that wants to make a difference in the world, in our future, and also in our environment. Marcello, thank you again for your
Thanks for
time.
being here.
And yeah, let's show these people how it works. Thank you.
All right.